ability and marketability do it. So I applaud any organization that unites you folks and lets you know what's coming, because hemp is a wonderful product. And I think it brings a tear to my eye as a 41-year small businessman who, in a totally different trade, but the large corporations dominate my trade in construction, and we do have a small little construction organization, but it's really a tough dynamic if we don't unite and once again try to be a force. So just to finish up here, anyway, we're here today to learn, and we have a couple of guests that I'd like to introduce and have them share their business in a few-minute presentation on a cooperative platform that I have offered you here today. Today, we are thrilled, I hope she's ready. Today, we are thrilled to introduce Rihanna Simon. She is a lead educator in ag. She has a master's degree in the related field. We have been collaborating now for about a month to bring in a good hands-on growing educational program, and I'd just like her to maybe introduce herself and tell you a little bit about it. Here, Rihanna.
Hi, good afternoon. As Mark mentioned, my name is Ryan Sims. I live right outside Talent. My husband and I run what we call a little urban mini farm. We have 1 acre, but we're able to demonstrate the yields just from an acre, primarily through perennial foods. I have a real interest in the hemp industry, in particular in the niche that's not currently being filled for education. I worked for Oregon State University for 10 years, and we were trying to convince them to offer education for hemp growers, for hemp farmers, for producers, and to really help people learn how to not just increase yield, but increase profit. And that's through healthy growing practices. We see a lot of people coming into the valley who have little to no farming experience and not a lot of avenues of where to go to learn more or to have resources about how do you look up what type of soil you have, how do you do basic soil testing, how do you lay out an irrigation system and not get taken advantage of. So what we're really hoping is that the Southern Oregon Hemp Cooperative will really step forward as at offering education in the valley that's meaningful to growers and that really offers some applied hands-on learning. So we're looking at things like greenhouse hygiene, starting your own seeds, things that you should know about. Also doing some integrated pest management workshops around being able to identify your own pathogens or insects so that basic pathology can really help you make informed decisions. And again, those can be crucial decisions in the field that can affect your profit margin. So what we're really interested in is helping Southern Oregon growers prosper and have the information they need to be successful. We feel like that education is really one of the most important vehicles that we can use to help each other and again to increase profits so that we all are successful in the county. So I appreciate you being here today. It's great. Thank you, Mark, for your information, and hopefully you signed in with your email so that we can get in touch with you about some of the classes we'll be offering, again, that are timely with what you're dealing with on your own farms, and that we're also interested if there are topics that you would really like to see taught. I have a little sheet we'll pass around, and if you'd like to put your email or if there's a particular topic that you or your crew could benefit from, we're happy to find instructors or offer that workshop. So thank you for your time today. Really nice to meet you all, and look forward to really growing better so that we can all be successful. So thank you very much for your time.
Can I extend on that to, we talked about a webinar, possibly. We know the farmers are always busy, and when you have, I believe that I'm a good co-op operator because I know about busy people and I know what meetings mean to get people to show up when you're trying to make that extra dollar in your farm. So Rihanna and me have talked about a webinar series for you that are interested in either a YouTube channel or something that we'd like to develop. I want to talk about our Happy Hemp Day podcast that another nice board member has started here that will help disseminate information and get it out to you folks. But if you'd please, I think Rihanna would agree if you'd make a little note if you think something like that would be happy and that you'd be pleased with something like that. We would love to offer that program to you. So thank you. interesting topic, the topic of labor. What happens with labor is that when farms get tight, they do something as a 41-year business that even as a kid when I first got started I did. I paid my brother's cash, my cousin's cash, and I ran a cash operation. And so I'm being a hypocrite here a little bit. The Bureau of Labor contacted me, and once again, as another businessman, I don't like the Bureau of Labor. Usually when they contact you, it's kind of negative. But we had a couple of accidents last year. I don't know if you guys heard of them, but luckily enough they were minor. Broken leg, smashed finger, no workers' comp insurance. And this is tough to say, but you can lose your farm by letting somebody come on, represents a labor group, says that I work in hemp, you need them really bad, and use it for cash. If you do that, the Bureau of Labor frowns on it to agree that they will take your farm. They got a way to get triple damages, and I know of one case where the injury was $20,000 and it got up to $100,000 on a farm claim real quick. It's not worth doing. So I don't know if Tradesman International is here. They're from Tradesman, but Tradesman International reached out to me about 6 months ago, and I told them their rates were too high for farmers. I don't know what farm workers are paying, but you know, I also think that wage ought to creep up a little bit. Hopefully, when our crops come back, we do a little bit better. We can remember who does it, toil in the soil, and help us all out. But anyway, they're an international labor group. They came down in the price. I think I helped negotiate that, and they want to offer trained hemp workers in the coming season. I just at least invite you to check them out, and they pay all the payroll. They do everything proper, and whether you need a full crew or say you were short in your operation, you need a man or two. They're supposed to be very responsive to the co-op's needs, and I will be on top of that. And by the way, for what it's worth, we've got a little committee working on a star rating system for all the vendors, and I think that we have 17 from farm vendors, everything from tractor services to extraction companies and varying in a bank. A couple of banks have now joined up with us, and so I'd like feedback. If you go on our webpage and you find a vendor has not performed their obligations or hurt you in some way, they're going to get a star rating. And this really is important. It's more important than you might think, because if the industry shrinks or gets tight, we need to all get better. We can't have charlatans. We can't have people stealing our money. We can't have people ripping us off. And from time to time, I will drop names because you can do it in a legal manner and not slander the person. But I'd almost rather get in a little bit of trouble than see what's happened here, as you read in the newspaper recently, where a person in the north end of the valley took advantage of another farmer. And we do, when money's tight, it's only worse to get a course ripped off. So would like your input. I think there's a form to do that. Please comment, email me if you don't see that we're trying to develop a comment on all of our vendors and help us out and try to make us the best of the best. Last but not least is that in the effort to secure a bottom line, a better bottom line for your farmers, I don't know how many times that I've heard mostly young ladies say that they call me and want to know about jobs in the industry, ag jobs. Ladies do very well in this industry. They're hard workers by and large, and seem to practice as much hemp as anybody else. But they'll mention that they have a child and child care. So that's why I said it was brought up about 2 weeks before this lady contacted me and referenced that's kind of tough to go out there for the wages and then pay the expensive child care. Is there any program that I would like to start? And it's kind of out of my wheelhouse. And my next guest is tied into, if you don't mind me saying, from Head Start. It's a government-backed program that I didn't know how to accept it. A lot of farmers don't want any government handouts or backing, but this is a program that actually returns net dollars, I believe, to the hemp farmer and us, because she's allowing people, I'll let her talk about it, get back to work in the form of helping our single parents with child care. Her name is Charmaine, and I'm sorry I have the flyer in front of me, Charmaine, but I think you're comfortable with just maybe coming up here and talking about the child care program that she'd like to partner with our hemp co-op and help us all. Charmaine.
Hello. So I'm Charmaine Tripp. I'm a family advocate. I work for an agency called Oregon Child Development Coalition. Our agency is throughout the whole state of Oregon. We're second in the nation for migrant seasonal early Head Start programs. So what that means is that we serve families that work in agriculture. So 51% of their income needs to come from agriculture work. Hemp, cannabis, dairy, all fall under that. It's regulated by the Department of Agriculture. Therefore, we are trying to get our information out. I'm from Josephine County. We do have our site in Ashland is in Ashland for Jackson County. We have it in Klamath County, and then we are also in Northern Oregon. So what our program does is we provide services for children that are 6 weeks to 5. It's an 8-hour-a-day program. It's 5 days a week. It's year-round. They may take like 2 weeks at Christmas, a week at spring break, maybe a week in the summer. Sometimes throughout the month, they have in-service days where teachers can prepare lesson plans and things like that. Part of our program, we do have family health services where we do home visiting and things like that. With the acceptance of hemp and cannabis and things like that, I know there's resistance from people that people are going to be in their business. We're really not. We're there just to support them with their kids, making sure kids are getting their health checks, dental checks. We have we're contracted with mental health and disabilities. If children are behind, we try to get intervention to where they can get services so that they're not behind when they get to public school. I don't know if many people follow much, but a lot of money's been given towards early education, Head Start programs because they succeed. Children that go through our programs are more likely to graduate. The parents realize more about education, attendance. You know, Oregon's been very low on graduation rates and missing a lot of attendance in our areas. We have a lot of homeless families. And so it's a safe place for the kids to be. They get USDA meals for kids that we provide diapers and wipes. So therefore it's going to save families some money while they're at school, not having to have diapers and wipes when they're not for those 8 hours. So we had the program going in Josephine County, and they said they couldn't find families. I was asked a few weeks ago to reach out and see what we can do. We want to get the program going. I know in Josephine County we have agriculture workers. I mean, it's huge with hemp and cannabis alone, let alone all the other areas that people can work in ag. So I reached out to Mark. I have some flyers. I have some cards. I also have a group you can sign up if you have a grow in the area. If you give me your name and number, I can give you the local places that could help your employees and provide care for their kids. Any questions?
I think, go ahead.
Oh, I'll just say, like, so actually one of our team members in our farm, so I run USD Organic Hemp Nursery, and we have a team of agricultural staff as well. And one of our team members used the program in Josephine County. One of them is actually a certified early education special needs teacher, and they come from Texas. And she thought the program was fantastic for her family when they moved here from Texas, and they had great things to say about the Head Start program. So I think if anyone, and she's a teacher, she was like, it's great. So I can speak for their family. They found the service very useful, and that it was a great program for them and their family. So I wouldn't hesitate to pass on to your team members as well. It's really a high quality education. At least the facility in Josephine that was open, she had a fantastic time there for her 3-year-old. So
Appreciate that.
so thank you for running that service.
And what it saves that if they have like a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, I don't know if you guys have small children, but childcare rates are outrageous. It's $855 a month for one child that's 6 weeks to 3 years old. It's about $700 a month for people with children that are 3 to 5. Some places charge higher rates than that. Our teachers are all qualified. We have curriculum. It's great. They get to socialize. You're working a lot with social and emotional growth with children at those ages. So, learning to share and make friends and how to interplay and stuff like that. So, It's a great program, I just want to get it out there because I don't want to see it go, it already went away, but I want to see it come back and show that we can support our community with that program. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Charmaine. I'd like to add that we'll post your information on our webpage, and here's my salesmanship kind of kicking in a little bit. We charge very little for our membership, this one program. If you have a child as an introductory through our co-op, we do it as a service. You can deal directly with her, it doesn't matter to me. We're just trying to show you that we're being programmed to try to bring value back to our farmers. And if you, as farmers, can't find workers, that hurts you. So this is an excellent, excellent program. Thank you. Let's give Charmaine a hand. Okay, well, drum roll, please. Our next guest ties to something that I'm very passionate about. And once again, I think that I have pretty good business acumen, and I started in business when I was 22 years old trying to build buildings. And I never knew anybody that I knew that didn't have to go get a loan, go to a conventional bank and get a loan. And we have, I'm not going to say stumbled, but we have walked through this as a first generation farmers, pioneers the last 4 years, and boy, we had our difficulty with conventional financing, banks. Don't know how you guys did it. I was making loans from the first time I bought my first nail gun and truck, and I needed money. And we know that the money that's available out there has actually hurt the small farmer. It's brokers that want to charge 30% interest, and some of you folks paid it. I know some of you that have. And so the next guest is tied to so intricately how we can move forward to the next generation of farmers. Is going to come with a balance sheet. They're going to come with education. They're going to come prepared to get that bottom line down, but still makes this a viable crop that we can grow with, and not the large corporations. And I will repeat that because I'm right on that. You can't control who's buying and how much they're paying, but however, we can give you guys fine-tuned, lean, mean growing machines if we all just listen and pay attention. So I really hope you pay attention to our next guest. He just got back from Houston, Texas, where he spoke in front of 15,000 people, and here he has a few less. But nonetheless, he's got a great attitude. He's also a third-generation farmer. Fourth generation, Dylan, from the Bend area. And I'd like you to welcome someone who's not just in the insurance program, but experienced ag person himself, all aspects, from THC to marketing, and how this all ties in to having your product protected through insurance. Would you welcome Dylan, please? Thank you.